Okay, so it's 5 after 4. I feel pretty good, except for these fucking allergies are killing me, man. I swear. I got my handkerchief, my kerchief. But there was something I had just seen. So I went on TikTok this morning to look and see because I really have been busy. And that is one thing too. Like it's one thing to watch the kids for an hour and before the bus comes or something because you got to be at work early. That is already even that hour, I swear to God. Because I've had that hour a few times and then before when she's had to go to appointments or whatever. And I swear to God, an hour or 2 hours can seem like it's a whole day. When you're someplace and you've got nothing to do, and but you've got things you could be doing at home and stuff, it's like, oh my God, time turns into, oh my God, it's a bitch and it drags. And but to go for 4 or 5 hours, like I did that once a year or two ago, um, because she was in a bind and it was something about school. It could have been at the same time. I don't remember. And I did it a couple of times. And then that's how I know how horrible it is. It's just like, that's too long. I can't give up my whole fucking day. It's like, it is weird because like there's so many different perspectives of it. Because I do have the perspective of being in that same situation before when my kids were small and being a single mom and stuff. But but then I also have the perspective of the matrix, the system, and how it takes all your time and it creates a barrier in those relationships and how much it should be that we go towards just having our kids with us. But it is such an established, acceptable thing in our world, in our reality. Like I thought this little market that's up the street from here. Yesterday I went out and it wasn't too bad. I think that if I were to go towards the way that I've said I would evacuate, it's closed off. So all that area is smashed. And it is all up into Stevens Pass and Snoqualmie Pass. And I don't know how bad the damage is or how fast it will be cleared. But um, leading up to, let me think, because all the way, all going up to Snoqualmie and past Snoqualmie, because that has Ellensburg was all total snow and stuff. And then all these little towns, Issaquah, Maple Valley. I just saw one that was Maple Valley. And this one person had 7 of these trees come down on their house. And I've seen other people talking about like how they're so scared of these trees. And everybody knows if people who've had the trees come down on their houses, they come down on people and shit. But when you see the videos and stuff, like the trees are just right up out of the ground. And I said that's what they had been setting up. And but 7 trees on one. And there was one video I saw too of a woman, and she it seems like it was buying a homestead or buying into a thing because it was in the forest, and she said her camp spot. So it was somebody setting up a thing where the people are buying camp spots, but they seem to be setting up more buildings and stuff. So it seems like they're trying to build like a commune or something. And so she wasn't there, apparently, when it happened. So she was doing a video as she was coming up to it. So she was walking up to it. So she had to go up the road. It was huge trees. She had to go under trees and stuff, huge trees across the road. And that's what it's everywhere. And, you know, I'm curious because my one daughter and I aren't talking. I'll say, okay, I don't want to talk for a while. But then when I get like, blocked or something, and then it's like, okay, then it's kind of your issue. So, when you do whatever. But I had already decided, because we had got those concert tickets, and I was already like, man, I can't see just leaving the dogs like that. And that'd be like 6 or 7 hours to go to a concert in Seattle, because I'd have to take 2 hours to drive there. And that would be in traffic, and then the weather and shit. And then the way I would go, it'd be closed off too. And then you go down that other way, in that it already had that big mudslide on the freeway. Like there's already shit that's going down here and going down and going down. And so But now with Seattle all fucked up now, I'm wondering if the concert's gonna be canceled because that's what I kept thinking beforehand. I kept thinking, man, there's so much shit going on. I can't see how they would be able to make it till the end of November without some shit going down, especially in Seattle. And so now, yeah, it's a big fucking disaster zone. I saw one guy saying you can't, he said people are out driving around looking for electricity. So there's no electricity. The power's out. And the power's out all over the place. And not over here. Ours was blinking, but man, lucked out, but that still is just like, oh my God, but there's still a storm coming then probably. And it's so fucking scary, those trees. And I saw so many videos of them falling. But so the girl's walking up towards the thing and she sees and she goes, there's something smashed over there. She's like looking at this thing. She's like, I don't even know what that is anymore. And so she's showing these different things. The tree's gone through one little building. Then she gets up to the first camp spot and she goes, well, that's not mine, but it's trees right through that one. Then she goes up to some more. There's some more devastation and stuff. I mean, these trees are down everywhere. Like, fuck. And see, is how mine are. And I kept thinking that the trees would protect one another, but with these winds and shit, man, this is what's so scary. The two people died from tree falling on them. And that's the only deaths that I've heard. It's two people. But I think that there's some people missing or something. But it wasn't like that big water thing. It's just, the trees are down everywhere. And the branches falling on you can kill you. These trees are huge. In the I don't know, like on the East Coast, like what the deal is about trees falling and stuff, or up in the mountains over there in Colorado, but over here we just have these a lot of big evergreens and stuff. In Northern California too, they have a lot too. So I don't know if it just is like our trees or something, or our land. I mean, our soil is really silty and rocky. Maybe it doesn't hold it well. I don't know. But the trees fucking fall all over the fucking place. And so this one guy, he was telling people, please stop driving around everywhere because you are causing more problems. There's down electric wires everywhere. And there's trees down everywhere. And you guys are just in the way, driving around trying to find electricity or service or some bullshit. And this is a thing too, you know, for the people who are prepared for this and stuff, you know, that when we know when the shit goes down, it's like, okay, well, so now I'm just going to sit here and wait till shit is fixed. But then you have these people who are out there, and don't forget we have the instigators. They're on board, on call, you know, they're quick to, because then you have people there who are going to, they'll, probably, if there was no power, probably a lot of break-ins, a lot of, there could be some attacks on some girls. There could be some, man, I watched this movie yesterday. I cannot get it out of my head. And I already knew the story, so I was kind of not looking at it. And then there was enough things in the movie where I was like, I've seen this movie before. But so but I know the story. It's the Novak guy, and he was this really rich guy, but he's so frivolous. That is just like, oh my God, that was just something where I was like, what the fuck? And his so he was a little kid, and this is weird too, because so his parents are bluish, and he's a little kid, his only child. And his dad buys a casino. And so I'm just like, crime syndicate, like, this is just, how do you motherfucking get this rich? And then you buy a casino, because this kid is so motherfucking rich. And in the casino or hotel or whatever his dad bought, I think maybe it was a hotel. I don't remember if it was Miami. It seems like it was Miami, but it was one where Frank Sinatra stayed, Elvis stayed, JFK stayed, Marilyn Monroe stayed. So, and the family was real fancy. Like even on his 6th birthday party, he was supposed to just go hang in his room because they were having a big party for him. It's an all adult party and stuff. So this kid, he just talked about how his life, how he was just and he was always at adult parties, so he was always seeing a lot of like smut and stuff. And so he was very intrigued by that. So that later on became a big drive in his life, his impulses and that excitement. And that is something that people gotta get a hold of. You gotta get a handle on yourself. And so the amount of money though is so fucking absurd. And I don't know, something about his dad died, and then I guess they sold the hotel. And I don't know if that's where they got, 100 trillion jillion dollars or something. Because this guy could just spend $1 million on a fucking comic book. He was a big comic book. He had a huge amount of toys and comic books that are uh, collector stuff. So he had a huge amount of collector stuff. He owned like 3 Batman cars, the cars in the show. He drives his Batman car around. He, I don't even know all of his stuff. But so in his days of when he was younger or whatever, and I don't know, I think he slept around a lot, just spent a lot of money and stuff. And he started going to this strip club, and this woman just completely intrigued him. She was really beautiful and stuff, but she was like kind of snubbing him, like, yeah, fuck you. And sometimes where people are super into their ego and stuff, and somebody does that, then it's like, it's intriguing. Why are they doing that? Why aren't they falling to my feet like all these other people? So then he became intrigued by her. And plus, she was really, really pretty. And she was very seductive. And she knew how to play this seduction game. And so she kept seducing him. So he kept coming back. He became obsessed. So finally, at some point, and she was doing all sorts of stuff. I'm pretty sure she was pretty much a prostitute. And she had a daughter, and her daughter knew what was up, but her daughter would try and call her out, but she just would say, I make so much money, I make $500 a night, and where I could go and work for $6 an hour. She said, I just can't. And always like, I want to make things better for you. And then she started saying about this guy was interested in her and stuff, and her daughter was like, big deal. And so anyways, the guy ends up pursuing her, and they get married real quick. And the daughter was very still standoffish, but eventually the rich guy, and the daughter, because she was, I don't know, maybe 10 or something, became really close, like a father and daughter. Like he was teaching her all about the comic books, teaching her about the business. He was teaching her all this stuff, and she was real smart, and she was very she had like a better sense of right and wrong, of morals. And so she was another level. And so she became really close with the dad and became a part of the business and stuff. And then she grew up, went to college, got out, became, I think, in his business or something. And she was a real professional, cute girl. And the mom, and it seemed like the mom really liked the dad for a long time. Like she would get so excited when he would come home and run and stuff. But it seemed that he was always busy, always doing stuff. And he was always cheating. He was just like, and once she caught on, then she became angry and vindictive. Vindictive and revenge, man. And then she became very much about the money because, before when she was just married to him and spending it, she just spent money like crazy. Like she just went and shopped and shopped and shopped, and he didn't give a shit. The amount of money is just, especially when there's people who are hungry and stuff, like it's obscene. It's just obscene to me. And I don't understand this way of, with this, maybe I lived a life that was like this. And so that's why it's like, no, this is not a good thing. And so so then once she became angry, and there was some party they were playing in, and I don't know, because I wasn't paying enough attention, but this guy that came to help him, he seemed like he was like cartel or something. I was like, what the fuck? Because the two of them like went into the sex kitten wife and this cartel guy go into, I guess, a scheme to get all the money. So then she uh, has first she tries to poison the mom because mom, and it's Candace Bergen, and Candace Bergen looks down on her, and she's got that real snooty kind of attitude, and but she seemed like a kind person. And with a, she had quite a life. She hung out with all these really famous people and had crazy parties and stuff. But she, definitely looked down on this lady as like like she didn't look at her like she deserved to be. I think she looked at her as a gold digger for sure. And when she got sick the first time, she started accusing the daughter-in-law of poisoning her. But this daughter-in-law was so fucking manipulative. Oh my God, she could win an Academy Award. Like she just played like not like she had like no remorse or anything, and could just put on a show. And so the mother-in-law was sure that she tried to kill her. Since that one didn't work, and she decided to have her bludgeoned to death. And that is like when you see these guys, they're coming up, they're clearly cartel. I've said before, those people are fucking brutal. Like if you just hear anybody who's ever survived any of that stuff, it can say. And what was that one? Because there was a story. I've heard some different stories. There was a movie made about this one of these college kids that went, and they got in trouble with a group of those people, and they were like hunting them down. And but the people are so brutal, like they are into torture, like they have no fucking feelings. I don't know what's happened, to them that's cut them off from all of their empathy or compassion. And it's like soldiers for pain or something. So they bludgeon this chick, and she just comes home in her fancy ass car with her fancy dog, and pulls in and gets out of the car, and then it's just like, I think she may have not even gotten out of it yet, and he just comes up, bam, 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 and just starts crunching in her goddamn face. And that's why it's like, I can't watch this shit, man. I can feel it. I can't watch. And but I know what happened. And then and so they leave, and they're like, oh, she's done. Well, she wasn't done for a while. She was crawling. She left a whole fucking long trail. And then at first they started saying it was, blaming it that she was a drunk, and that it was natural. Like there was no foul play. Oh, what the fuck? How would you crush your entire face by falling out of the car? Give me a fucking break. Like, what a lazy fucking cop work is that, man? And so, who is their coroner? Is he drunk himself? Like, what the fuck, dude? And so then the lady, she's got it doing the husband. And so she's manipulating him. I don't know how, and he is really aware of it. Like, he's really suspicious, but the cops aren't on his side, and they're just making like he's being paranoid and stuff like that. And so this big thing that is, I think it was in Vegas. This was a big case. I've seen it. I think when I first saw it, it was like 48 Hours or Dateline or something like that. There's been so many stories on it. And so he went to this, it was, what are those other things called? Baseball cards and stuff. I think he was all into that kind of trading with the comic books, baseball, all like collectibles. And so we had a big thing of it. And when you have those big conferences, you go to them, and it's like booths set up. And so collectors, I think probably some collectors don't go there. They probably send out like headhunter kind of people to go and do their shopping for them. They may even contact them, but rich people aren't out there schmoozing around trying to wheel and deal for money. They send out their buyers or something. So all these people go around and look at different merchandise. And then I think that in this trade that there's a lot of talk online or on the phone or something of what people are going to have and what you can come and get and stuff. So I think, you know, it's a whole thing. It's a whole network system, this collectibles, and it's big money. And so so whatever that they were for this big conference thing, and when he first gets there, because he knows something's up, so he tells the daughter that he wants to adopt her, and she is just beside herself. She's just so happy, you know, to make it legal and stuff, and to be her dad, and then see the fortune's all hers. And so she has no idea. She's not thinking anything about that. And but she is like, you know, he did have kind of a, you know, a weariness where she was kind of like concerned, like, what's up? And he's like, oh, nothing, I'm tired, I'll be down in a little while. And then the wife comes, but she's watching all this from across, and she sees this moment, and so she starts questioning the daughter. Once she finds out that the daughter's about to be adopted, she's like, I don't know if that's when she decided tonight's the night, or if it was already set up that tonight was the night, because all these people were there, her CARTEL people. And then they're so brutal. God damn. They're scary looking. And I don't know if they all really were, but they were definitely that crime, you know, syndicate or something. And so they go up there, and whatever she did, it was so fucking gruesome, because there's evidence and stuff that she watched this go down. And I saw them carrying in like these weights that I use. Mine are 8 pounds. And I used to have 5 pounds. That just got too loose or too light. Yeah, but when I first started them, they were heavy. And the 8 pounds, I don't know, I could probably go up to 10 pounds, but fucking 15 pounds would be pretty fucking heavy. And they had like 15-pound ones. If you haven't picked up a solid 15-pound weight, I would not want that crashing down on my face. And I mean, the lamp, would the lamp probably weigh? And then it's finally, I could see that there's this mark going across here. But this one is more healed. This all kind of healed more, but that, what was that, like 2 pounds or something? I mean, I don't know how much the lamp is. It was just this little like lamp with a little lamp shade, a little. Oh no, it wasn't that lamp. It was that one. I was picturing one in there because I put one on top of my fridge because I don't like a lot of bright lights. So I like to just turn on a little light. And so I put a lamp on top of the fridge. I did it when I was traveling because I was like to make the light come on and off. But then I was like, fuck, this is kind of cool. I like to just be able to have a light, you know, not a bright light on in the morning. And I'm kind of becoming a mole. And then, so it was one of those, you know, where it's just like this stand thing, and then it just has this like pole, and then it has like a little flower thing. That it was one of those, and it was the pole thing that went across my face. So yeah, how much is that? Like, it couldn't even be more than 2 pounds, I betcha. Well, the glass thing's kind of heavy, but still 15 pounds, like motherfucking. And then so I saw the part where they were carrying those in, and so I went in the other room and started doing something. I put the stuff on the tiles. I haven't washed it off yet, so Cheryl, I'll tell you how it worked. But right now the tiles are looking really good, but there's still some spots where the whatever the grout stuff is funked. So I still got to clean some more of that. But anyways, I'm just really liking it. I'll do the video, but I have a light this coming. I want to finish the shower, and then I'm going to change the light source because it was it's too dim. It's too closed in. So I got one that's like, I don't know if you can see the one in the kitchen, because right here it's to the numbers for me. I can only see the red bar. But right there I have this light, and it goes out like a spider. And so it goes out with all these lights. So I got a little one of those to put in the bathroom so it lights up more going out instead of just a little thing, because it's not good lighting in there. Like, fuck, I could have a full-on beard and mustache for all I know. And so the... and then I'm going to take that light and put it in the hall, so the hall lights up more. And then I got the paint coming, and I'm going to do the counters. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that stuff and get everything done, because I've been waiting for stuff to come too. And and get that stuff all done, and then I'll do a video. Because even my mom's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see," and it's like, "Yeah, I want to finish this stuff, and then I'll do it." So there's a couple things in there I want to do, a couple things in there I want to do, and then I'll do a little walkthrough and show you this stuff. And it's probably all this build up, and it's just like, but still, it's fun. Like I like projects, and it gives you something to do, and I like the completion. I like the feeling of like, I did this, like, even though it wasn't just all me. But we did come to a agreement on the money thing now, so that makes me happy. But I'm still gonna have to pay it in some increments. But it's crazy because it is the amount that I wrote down, and it's the amount that just kept coming in my head and coming in my head. So, anyways, let me think. So in the movie. So so they do that in front of her. Like she's watching this, and they go in, and he's laying in bed. Like she already just had her way with him, because, she's going to make it seem like everything's fine. Then, she lets in these two guys. They come in there with these big things and just bash his fucking head in. And he's still conscious. So she gets down in his face and says something about, this is real. This isn't a fantasy or something. And then they take this big thing and right through. It was so fucking brutal. This is something that in all these different crime documentaries it talked about, how fucking brutal this crime was. And just the whole thing of her watching and then to do that, it's like this person has no fucking, it's like soulless or something, like creepy. Like, where is your empathy and compassion? And so then this is where people can get really caught up into some shit. Money brings the worst out in some people, I am telling you. And so so right away, she just goes all in on the spending. Like, it was disgusting. It was disturbing. And people, especially her daughter, because her daughter was mourning. Her daughter was distraught. And the cops were watching her because, yeah, how do all these people just end up bludgeoned around you? Like, isn't that weird? But anyways, but they weren't still thinking about her, the mother-in-law, because they had already said, oh, she just fell. Okay. And so she's just out spending and spending. And the cops then are suspicious of her. And they start saying something to the daughter. The daughter's like, no way. She didn't know. There's no way my mom would do that. And so then they bring her in, and the daughter is seeing through the glass thing. And so she's seeing that her mom is full of shit. She's seeing her lying and stuff or something. Something where she's like, okay, she becomes suspicious of her mom. And so she doesn't see anything, the cops or whatever, so she leaves. Or she may have made a sign to the cops or whatever, like, okay, this is weird. I don't remember. So she leaves, and she just goes about her business at work. And then she goes in and she goes to talk to her mom, and she accuses her mom. And when she walks into her mom's house, the mom's just got all these like servants going around, and she's just sitting there drinking and getting her massage set up and stuff. She just is like oblivious, like could care less. And the daughter is like, she's like, because the mom says, do you want to get a massage? And she's like, no, I'm mourning my father. And it's like, why aren't you? And the mom's just like, oh my God, it's over or something. And so the daughter accuses her and says something and storms out of the house. The mom comes raging out a side door with another fucking thing, a tire iron, and comes up and starts trying to get her daughter, and then starts bashing in her car. And I mean, I knew she was going to be trying to do in her daughter. And so her daughter goes to the cops and tells them and stuff. And so I don't know if they're watching her or whatever, but they, like if they know that she did it or whatever. But when the daughter is at work, the mom tried to have her done in. The guy came with his bludgeoning thing and was following the daughter through the parking lot. And then when he attacked, but the daughter was suspicious, so she kind of hid as she went around. And so he came around the thing and couldn't see her, and then she hit him. So she's in this fight, trying to fight this guy. And that's where, you got to fight for your life. Like you fight, like, just fight. And so she was fighting with all she's got. And I think also it's you kind of don't notice Like, when you get killed, if you get killed, because when you're fighting, you've got all that energy going towards that. So I just think it's better. Plus, you build your adrenaline and stuff. Like, I don't ever understand the people who just, and that's so much in the movies. Don't hurt me. Just cry, fall to the knees. And I fucking come out punching, man. And so she's battling this guy going, which there's this little girl right now who is just fucking taking the storm on sports on TikTok with she's this little girl wrestler, and she is tough nuggets, man. She just takes these guys down. She's the cutest little thing. But anyways, yeah, you gotta go in hard, and so start fighting. So she's fighting long enough that the cops have come, because now they are worried. I don't know if it was something that they heard. Oh, because they did make an arrest, yeah. And I think that guy had said, so they go to try and save her, and then so that guy gets taken out by the cop, and so the woman ends up, she gets 2 life sentences, and she has no possibility for parole. But I don't, I just, like, it's so hard to think how money can become that important to you. Money and spending money. She even had a guy carry her down off a boat. And it reminds me of those ladies at the fucking galas, here, everybody help me with my clothing. It's like, shut the fuck up. If you can't fucking handle your own clothes, go home. Like, give me a fucking break. This isn't fucking, we're not peasants here for you. And, it is like, and the people who do drop to their knees to be the peasants, it's like, oh my gosh, have some self-respect. Like, these people have got their own issues. If they can't manage their clothes, that's their goddamn problem. So that's why I think would be so funny if everybody just let those ladies walk, and they would be so twisted up in their own clothes. They can drag them. Like, oh, well, that's so sad. God, I'm a bitch sometimes. We all have it in us, so just accept it. I'll accept my bitchiness. But the way that money can become such a priority, where it's even like you'll kill your own daughter. I was like, man. And her husband, like, she had loved him at one point. How do you become that bitter? Like, that has got to be some kind of pain or something inside of you. I don't know. Like, maybe she was really abused or something as a child, and it never was healed. So she just went out as, like, she would do anything for someone to like her. But if you turned on her, that was it. Like, some people have that. Like, that's a real thing. Some people are that, yeah. They're, but there's so many people who are so damaged in the world. They're not themselves. That's the thing. There's another you that is underneath. That's more of it. It's like there's another you that's there, not this one. It's weird because most people think that the you that they put out in the world is them. And I don't think a lot of people have an awareness of how much they mask in society, how much they try and pretend to be different than they are. And because that's kind of like an acceptable thing in our society, which I thought this was interesting because this is so fucking true. And yesterday I was really noticing this, and let me think what it was, because it was something. It's always this stuff on perspective, but it was something. So it was something I was thinking, oh, I don't like that. And then it was, but that's kind of my problem. I mean, if I went and said, well, I don't like that, that needs to change so I can feel happy, then there's probably something they don't like, and then that needs to be changed so they can be happy. Well, then there's probably something that guy doesn't like, so that needs to change so he can be happy. So, what I mean? It's like when we start putting that out there, is like it has to be something to make us happy. Well, then everybody else gets the same. Like, how do we just say, it's just so I can be happy? And that's where they've got this one group that's so out of touch. And but so this poem thing that I just saw this person reading this morning, she's like, somebody just wrote this and it's so true. And so can't remember the whole thing. I can share it if somebody wants it. It was good, but it was something like this guy built a snowman and he went out and then somebody passed by and they said, you know, why didn't you build a snow woman? So then he builds a snow woman, but then one guy says, well, the boobs are too big. Why? That's disgusting. You're exploiting the snow woman or whatever. Then another person walks by. Well, the transgender walks by and why didn't you just make one? Why didn't you just take parts that came off? Why didn't and then the gay couple across the street was, well, why didn't you just make two men? And then the person going by. So it just keeps going and going and going over what other people want and what's going to make other people happy, to the point like the news comes. And then he starts getting called a racist, a homophobe, and all this stuff. Then the CPS comes and then they take away his kids. Like, it's this whole thing is really good. And it is so true. And the woman reading it, she was like, this is so true. I just can't believe how true this is. And she goes, me, myself, I have noticed where it was the same thing. It was like, this is just, it's got to be like the energy when it comes in. And then we all start noticing these certain things like, you know, if I start saying, well, it has to be this way, well, then everybody's going to do it. And then the problem behind that, when everybody starts doing it and everybody starts saying, well, I want it my way, I want it my way. And then it's like, it's way more. We got to just like, that's your way, this is my way, that's your way, this is my way. And for sure, we need more space. That's a big problem. That's a big problem of tension in neighborhoods. And the HOAs are such a fucking joke, and it's such a fucking illusion. And it's so controlling too. It's absurd. But it's more necessary to me that we have more space, we have more separation, and we have more area to call our own, and to be able to create what it is that we want to be in our reality. Oh, which, by the way, last night I had so many motherfucking spiders in my dreams. It was insane. And I forgot to say about this, because when my son-in-law was here, so we were running into problems with the floor when he had gotten the whole thing out and stuff, because of the different layers on the other one, because they just did these different layers. And so anyways, there was a step down thing. And so it was trying to find something that was thin enough to bring it up a little. And so it was like a whole thing of trying to figure that out. And I had some wood outside. So we went outside to look, and I said, I know that this one piece that I put under this wood pot, the little wood thing I made, I'm sure that'd be perfect. And it's just like, oh, that's just so crazy. And there's no fucking way I'm taking that whole, God, that was like a whole fucking, that's like a whole fucking thing now. And it hasn't even been touched yet. I'm still using all the other wood that's piled up everywhere. So I didn't even start that one. And then my little Subaru wood house too. I just think that one is, I just love that one now. That's like my little wood house out here. But anyways, so we go over there to look at this wood, and I pull out this piece. Boom, fucking giantest motherfucking spider. It was huge, and I couldn't see that well, but I could see it was a giant fucking spider. And then look on the other side, and it's a matching one. So there's one on each side of the wood. It's like, is this your wood? Is this your family? Like, I don't even fucking know. And so I call him over there, and I say, you got to come see this. And then I show him how big this spider is. He just smashes it and kills it. I was like, what? Why'd you do that? You know, it's like out in his own place. I'm like, it's just so different when, I don't know, the awakening is very different, because you get to a certain point, it would not do that. You're not going to kill something. And so after he did, I think he did have a regret, because then I talked about it later, and I said something about it, and he said, that spider, the other spider's probably looking for you. Like, it's probably hunting you down. He goes, that's what I keep thinking. I keep thinking it's after me. And I said, it probably is. And I fucking hope it knows it's you and not me. It's like, fuck, I can go out there and do that. And then, so I don't know. I haven't even gone out and looked to see if the other one is still out there. But that fucking giant spider's been on my mind a lot. But it was all up in my dreams last night. And the two of them were all up in my dreams last night. And there's something about when you dream with spiders, there's a message about it. And there, I had so many. I've had this happen a few times. One of the times it was like I was in my house in the room, it was webs everywhere. And the one back room was just completely entangled in webs and stuff. And I was trying to get around with all these spiders and shit. This one, I don't even remember, the spiders kept, it was like they were trying to talk to me or give me a message or something. And then I was like, what is the message? Like one of the times when I was awake, it's like, what is the message? What are you trying to tell me? And then something came into my head, so I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It has to do with timing and stuff, but is and I'm not sure. But anyways, it was fucking so scary though. Like, I don't know, spiders in your dreams and stuff is scary, but it's supposed to be something that is, it's supposed to be something that it's good, and it's something about change or something. I don't remember because I'll have to go look it up. But that's also somebody else's uh, perception or something. Um, of whatever I was talking about yesterday. So you do have to go more with what it is telling you than what it is that somebody else translates as. So anyways, I'll still go look it up and see, just because I don't know. I'm curious. I want to see. And then sometimes in dreams and stuff, there is certain things that is repetitive. So I just don't know about the number communication, because I've seen way too many where people are like, oh, 143 means this, 244 means this, all that kind of stuff. I don't jive with that. But the dreams and looking at what dreams mean, and when certain things come into your dreams and stuff, there is some type of consistency or something. I don't know. There's more intrigue behind that. So let me think, because there was something else like that movie. It's just been on my mind so much about like what people will do for money and how money just becomes their drive. And it's just like, it's so gross to not have any kind of other attachments except for to the artificial thing that's here. And one thing too that I've seen Trump saying, so he has said that he's going to end Social Security tax. And this is what I keep thinking. Is this what people think? Why they keep saying, oh, he's ending Social Security, you stupid ass. It's like, okay, he's ending the tax because it was bullshit. You were paying into some bullshit. And that's why it's ending. It's going to stop taking it out of your check. It's not because he's ending Social Security. He's very into retirement and vets and shit like that. He's said a million times, take care of the elderly, take care of the vets, take care of the kids. And what do the kids need? Their parents at home. He's going at that angle. He's going towards it in that way. And you can see. I think he's going to pay people to stay home with their kids. And, so you're not having to pay somebody else who doesn't want to fucking do it because you're fucking desperate. And yeah, Crystal, it is like a good, because I am fucking sick. And I think that is one of the things too. It's like, I don't have the energy. Like I go all day long. These dogs keep me going, and I've got my own shit to do, like my own cleaning, my own laundry, my own stuff to do at my house, and the dogs take up a lot too. That's like I said, it's like having 3 kids and in their home all day. And maybe they sleep a lot, but sometimes little kids do sleep a lot, like if you have toddlers and stuff, but it still is constant interruption and everything. But anyways, the feeling sick, it is draining. Sometimes I get so irritated with the dogs. It's like, you guys want another motherfucking thing, and I just want to sit here and relax for a minute. I'm fucking on break, dude. And so yeah, I don't have it in me to go and fucking have another 5 people pull on me, because no matter what, even if you go, there's 2 kids, 3 dogs, and 2 cats. And there's more going on, and then I don't know, it's a whole thing. But I really like that Donald is taking it in that direction of family and stuff, because I can really see, like, people do need to be home more with their kids. Kids shouldn't be just being passed off and passed around. They shouldn't be spending all this time in goddamn schools being fucking indoctrinated and programmed to fucking be progressive. Like, it's so fucking. Now there's a thing hanging out in front of their house now of love, only love it can be here. Like, there's a whole thing. I don't know if it's just in Washington State, but it's like a freedom or a LGBT, one of the flags, the rainbow flag, and it has writing on it, and it's about, like, this is a house of love and all of that stuff, because it is to go against the red side that is, by their perspective, is not for those things. And it's like, the reason why you think they're not for those things is because you're listening to the news. Everybody's for the same shit. But you can't tell them, so they make sure that, they say it. So this is a kind of weird stuff in the neighborhood. I have American flag hanging down at the end of my driveway, which it used to be hanging at my house. I hung it at the end of my driveway because my driveway was a little bit longer, and there was a couple other people who had theirs. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm also, I don't know. Even when the guy came to do my Ziply, which fucking Ziply now has gone up $15 in 1 month. Now suddenly you have to pay more for this. Is the same shit that goes on all the time. Same shit Comcast does. It's such bullshit. I'm so sick of these fucking corporation fucking bullshit. But but when that guy came and he ends up being a neighbor and stuff, is he even was like, okay, well, so when shit goes down, I'm over here. And so it's like, some of us need to know where each other are, because yeah, if shit goes down, it's like, I got to know where my other people are. And then I know that there's some around that don't have any kind of display over who they are. And I think that gives the other people, because I've seen a thing about this too, that is what gives these other people the illusion that it's only where the flags are, as that's the only people who support him. Because there's something with the little sign things too. Like they've gone around removing them and stuff, and I don't know, there's a whole weird thing about it. So it gives these other people the illusion that they're the majority. They're still riding that hard. They still, it kind of is funny, because to me, it's like, yeah, fucking get in there and check on this cheating thing for show. Because they're going to see. I'm 100% sure that there was this time too. They just couldn't do it big enough, because this was the time where it was going to really, show. Because before, to me, it was like when they did it with Bernie, it was real obvious that we had no say. And the majority had no say. And it was so clear. And that is where you're like, okay, so we the people don't fucking matter to these people, because we're saying we want this guy, and they're saying, nope, we're choosing Hillary, which made absolute no sense. Like, I swear to God, I can't stress this enough. Like, there's a lot of people who don't really know about what was going on then, but I cannot stress enough. It's like the Red Party, all of a sudden, Trump's having these big old rallies, all these people showing up, and them, having him, then when they're going to choose their nomination, so they got this guy out there killing it, and then all of a sudden they're going to turn around and say, oh, we're going to put in Jeb Bush, that's who we're choosing. He hadn't had he had 10 people at his rally maybe, but I think that's good moves. He's got the history behind him or whatever. That is how fucking absurd. And so Bernie was out there fucking killing it. His things were totally equal. Like, I don't know what on his crowds, especially now, because so many people have walked away from the blue. But back then, they were, their crowds were very the same. Bernie was pulling in as many as Donald. Like, they were very equal. And that's where, to those of us who wanted the blue to win, then it was like, it was very equal. Like, it was a good race. And so then all of a sudden, when they said they were pulling him, they weren't putting him for the nomination, it made no motherfucking sense at all. And then when they were putting her, because any of us that were on that side knew she was also doing rallies, but she was pulling in. She couldn't fill a gymnasium in an elementary school. And so she couldn't even fill the cafeteria. Like they had her in like little small rooms, like a library of the elementary school, and to make it look like there was more people or something. It was and then plus on Facebook where I was reading how much she was hated. And I had no idea until I was reading all that. Like everybody knew how corrupt she was. And then you start finding out about Haiti, like so many things when you got all these people telling you. And I was like, what the fuck? So I started seeing some of that shit then. And I knew about the cheating at that point. And then when okay, so yeah, so it was that he won on that one. But she was so fucking irate, and that was very suspicious because she started saying he was cheating. But what was shown was that that they did, but it's still so he had so many people that came out for him that they underestimated how many people, so they didn't cheat hard enough. So that was all, like, anyone who was paying attention at that point in time knows this stuff. Then we got to the next one, and that one was so fucking clear. I mean, and this was the one to really get people to see. And Joe's just hanging in his basement. He can't talk. He can't do shit. He has no fucking idea. And then, and I don't even remember how that was that they chose him. To me, it was some absurd thing too, where it was that he was the nominee. And so then in the race and stuff, when they were having, it was so fucking clear. The other guy had support and this guy had none. And then when they tried to go up and say that he had 20 million people more, it was like it was too absurd. It was just a show because it was going on way before 2016. This has been going on the whole motherfucking time. And I think their whole race, their whole fucking thing has always been cheated. I don't know how many Trumps there's been where they've gotten in over these other people. I don't even know how many people have run against these people if they have just, like they put in their nominee and then they put in their nominee. And so, and it was clear in 2020. And then there was such a ruckus and there was so many court things. It was so much and it was said and said and said. But then it was Congress and the Supreme Court and everything was going against him. And then, so that was to show the corruption in our judicial system. Who are they really backing? They're not backing us. They're backing the corporation because it's the corporation's puppet. So they are backing them. So that is where it starts showing that how far more that it ran in the complexity of the corruption and how deep it was going. So all this was being shown, but there were so many people not paying attention. And so then he pulls up, this 20 million people out of the blue that have again disappeared because he was pulling them up out of the ground or something. And so and it was so clear and there was so much evidence. Like anybody who thinks like about this, if someone's a cheater or not, all you got to do is there's evidence. Like just do some research into the evidence. I still can't even believe how many people sit and talk about 2025, especially to any people who know about the 30. Maybe there was only like 50 of us. Like, I don't even know at this point. This is just so weird. But the 30, those of us who were reading about that is traumatizing because it is already going. This 25, what is a speculation? It is a projection. It is what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to do this. It's like, it's so absurd. And especially when we have this one that is actually going, that they are actually doing to us. It's like, God damn you people. Like, so anyways, so the people are, the 20 million people who disappeared now on this one. So these people, they've gotten it where they think that they are the majorities. There was something too on their news. And then there was something weird with all their astrologers, which I said all these people were blue. And that they were all in agreement that Kamala was the future. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's like how unattached are you to your spirituality? Like it's so weird because you should be able to see clearly who is pulling in the love and the unity and where we're headed with the age of Aquarius, and who is pulling in the hate and division and the over sexualized and let's kill our kids together. Like it's crazy. Like, and these people are like, love and light, let's go. I was like, what? So the so anyways, now that this one has occurred and they are sure that she has won, they're still talking about this. They're still talking about that she's going to get in. They're sure of it. That something's going it's about to be exposed that Donald cheated. And that's why I was like, come on, you people, please get in there and really start getting in there and looking and seeing, because we know what they're going to see. Because who's really been is the other side, and they've been doing it for the past 3 that I know of. And then but this going so when you go around and you don't see any of those, see all these people start thinking that the blue is the majority, which makes them even more angry at the red, which is already such a strange thing, because that was all the way back where, the neighbor didn't like me. Like, she thought I was a liar, she thought I was all these things because of the flag. And that is where I was like, well, why in the world, if you think this of me, why would you want me watching your children? Like, what? Like, that blew my mind. That's where we got in this big thing. Because I was just like, if I thought somebody was a lying racist, I sure the fuck wouldn't have my kids hang out with them. Like, what the fuck? So anyways, but that was years ago. But now, she put that thing out there the other day, because that's new, and I don't know, maybe they're passing them out at the school because she works at the school, but they're so heavy in the propaganda of this bullshit. And when you see the people that just keep going and going with it, it's like, it's fucking divisive. And maybe I just need to take my flag down. But at that point, then it's going to be like a surrender or something to me. It's like, no, we're going towards freedom, and I'm sticking with it. You guys want to think, we're going towards our trans agenda and everybody change because God makes mistakes and nobody, it's really disgusting. I even saw this, what was that guy's name? He's a comedian, but he has times where he's Rob Schneider. Because he was a comedian and actor, and his daughter says he's a horrible dad. So that's his disclosure. But anyways, he seems like he's more on our side. But he said, somebody was asking him something. So he's sitting up on a thing, and there's a line of people waiting to ask questions. So I don't know. It wasn't like a comedy thing or something, I don't think. But so I don't know, because it was a serious topic. And the guy asking the question is talking about the trans agenda thing or something about, kids should be able to do this or that. So Rob starts being like, yeah, but so if my kid tells me he's a pirate, do I just go in and cut off his leg and take out one of his eyes and put a patch on it, and so he can be a pirate? And the kid's like, no, that's not right. And he goes, well, then how's the other thing right? And so this argument going back and forth. But that is where I'm saying, where you have people who have some kind of level head about this stuff. And because the other people are just caught up in this, like, you're not thinking this through. I mean, they are letting kids, doctors, I mean, and there's going to be criminal charges. There's already doctors that are calling out for this shit. There's people who are outraged by this. They are going in and removing reproductive things from children. They are fucking doing mastectomies on children. Like, where kids, and it's so sad because so many of them get all caught up in the fucking bullshit, the agenda at school. So then they are coming to this point where they are having regret. Like, they would feel like, I think there's probably a mourning too to yourself when you get yourself into a different place. And then plus to see, like, one thing that is driving me crazy too, I don't know, speaking of this bullshit, is Angelina Jolie. Like, girl, I swear to God, you want to prance around with your fucking son. And to me is, and now, what is this, your new date too? is like, oh man, I don't know. It really bothers me. And, and it's not my thing. It's not my life or whatever. It's not my fucking choices. It's not my consequences. It's nothing about me. But it really irks me. It irks me so much about so many of these actors and stuff who I just, yeah, is way too many kids needing to change genders. It's just, it's absurd. And then, I don't know. I would say she probably tries to, there's so many of these people who try and sell themselves as like they're more caring, compassionate, because, God makes mistakes and people need to change their genders. Like that's just the way it is. And luckily we have doctors who can do that for them or something. And, it's like that, I'm still growling. That is so out of touch for spirituality. Like, how is that? God doesn't make mistakes. You come into the experience. You're birthed into the vessel you are meant to be into. You're birthed into the experience. You're birthed into the ride. So it's not like you have to come in and be like, oh, wait, they put me in the wrong cart. I'm on the wrong one. Somebody, especially you over there in 3D science world, you come over and fix it for me. It's like... And I just, I know that that girl was like a tomboy when she was little because they always made a thing about it. But how much of it is programming? How much of it is... And isn't that his first child? Isn't there a whole fucking Hollywood weird thing too, where in order to have certain things, it's like in the fairy tales. Well, we'll take your first child, and there's just something weird about it. And because that's not the only one. There's like so many of these people. Charlize Theron, her kid. Donna, she got like 5 kids. They all just happen to be trans or something. Her daughter stayed a daughter because I just saw her recently, and she's a performer. I don't know. She's gonna go. I don't know. It's like overly sexualized. Like, I don't know. I don't know why everything has to just become a sex show. Where's the talent? Because you can grind your ass, like, and that's, oh yay, that's so exciting. I'm so glad you can wear skimpy clothes and like so super cool, man. And that's real talent there. So I don't know. It's like we need higher standards or something. But there is so many of these people who just all have kids that are transitioning, all of them. And but the way that now Angelina has him out as, it's her son, and has him out showing off or something, like, waving her flag of like what a good person she is. She has a fully transitioned child, so she's obviously, one of the higher ups. It's like, dude, I guess over here, down here, where we're down here scraping on God, then yeah, I think that God doesn't make mistakes. I think people stepping in and trying to correct what you think of as mistakes are your mistakes. So I don't know. I don't know. I was curious too, man, I bet you on that med bed thing, I bet you some of these kids who have gone through the thing and then have regret, because there's a whole thing, like every day they have to stretch their vagina open. They have to put this thing inside of it to keep it opening it because it keeps trying to close. And if it closes, they have to get more surgeries. If it gets any closed things, it starts building an infection. There's some of these kids that have had to go in and have these infections. Their hormones are jacked up. I think that it seems like they do better going from a girl to a guy than going from a guy to a girl, but I don't know. But the ones that go to a guy, they have to use a pump to create an erection. It's like, and if they just would realize, like, they would be enjoying sex, just their own, like, I don't know. Like when you're with a partner, is it just in your head? Like you're just sitting there thinking, I'm the girl, I'm the girl, I'm the girl, I'm the girl, I'm the girl. Or are you just thinking about a connection? Like, I don't know. I feel like they're getting these people to think about things that they don't need to think about. And like these kids don't realize, like, well, they've never had sex before, so they're not going to be sitting there thinking, well, I really need to be the boy in it. I think that they just are like, just need this, the parts to work together. So I don't know. I think that, clearly I would say that you probably should have some sexual experience before you go and start mutilating, your sex organs, I would say, because you may find that it's a lot different than what you think. But there is a lot of people who do go and transition even after, and that's, it's totally up to you. But at that point, at least, you hopefully are an adult and making those decisions as an adult, and then you have your own consequences. But they've got all this spiritual entanglement because you are parents that are, getting, there's an entanglement that is happening when you are putting yourself in somebody else's stuff like that. Like parents should not be making decisions over their kids' gender identity. And it also should be the kid, the restriction is that any confusion, you can seek counseling. We can have counselors and try and help you, because it is like a dysmorphia. And I think there's a spiritual dysmorphia, there's body dysmorphia, there's gender dysmorphia, like it's a whole fucking thing. And I think it's because so many people are lost in the cause. They're lost in the game. They don't even understand that the universe is real. Like, I still have motherfuckers coming in and telling me, well, go to Jesus. It's like, the universe is, Jesus is, I don't know, at this point, he's like a pawn in the game or something. But the universe has control here. And you have to notice at what curve you're in the game to know what the hell is going on in the game. And, I can tell you what's going on in this game is that it's changing into a new game. And all of these things happening is to give you opportunities to reassociate your player, because you do have a player that you created to play in this game, and it is not the true you. And you have to pull free from all of the bullshit to find yourself in order to bring yourself into the light. And there's a lot of going through the dark of the places where you've hidden yourself and why you've hidden yourself. What was that one? Yesterday, there was a really good one that came into my mind of how people hide themselves and stuff in a way to, it's just putting yourself out there. I know it can be really hard. Well, I don't know. It can be really hard. I'm guessing it can be really hard if you've kept yourself really hidden. It's, to feel vulnerable, that it is, it's going to feel scary. It's going to feel new. It's going to feel uncomfortable. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to feel uncomfortable when you're trying to transition and become a different kind of person. And it is, it's funny to use that word, but it is a transition into your real self, into becoming your true self. And to me, what I have found the whole time is it is going back to the person I was when I was born. It's like this person I came in, and then all this stuff started happening in life. And then you don't like yourself. You don't take care of yourself. You don't love yourself. You don't have good boundaries, all these different things. And then, but then once you, it's like going through the things build you up. And then, And it's so much about going back to the person that you were trying to hide from, like the person that you thought wasn't acceptable. At some point, you start going back towards them as being all you want to do is just be yourself. Go back to that person and just be you, no matter how, if it's silly or whatever, because you're going to have silliness, you're going to have spontaneity and stuff like that because your soul is really like that and you're trying to repress it. You're trying to be something that you're not, trying to be this, I don't know, hoity-toity kind of acceptable person in this fucking fake ass fucking environment. And we're full of fake ass people who don't give a shit about, I don't know. It's just so fucking fake. So many people with the just buy this, buy that. And I don't know. To me, when I see all of this superficial stuff, I keep on just thinking like, this is exactly why the universe is going to step in and to put a stop to it. And it's just so, and so many people keep going in that way, especially on TikTok, the creator fund. So many people, well, I just got on the creator fund. Just please, just give me a minute. Just watch my video. Just 1 minute. Just watch it, please. Because I need this money for the creator fund. I need this money because whatever. I need a new car. I need a new house. I need a new this. I need a new that. All these people. And it's such a bullshit. The creator fund is such bullshit. I mean, it's a soul delusion to think this third party is going to be your way to salvation. It's going to be way your freedom. It's going to be your lifestyle that you are hoping for. Is it, it's all based on these views and which, all these people have gone whacked because you got people who are doing people in for views. And people who poison their own kids for fucking views and fucking funding and bullshit. Like, this world is so, and that's why this shit is going to keep going. It's going to keep happening. Things are going to keep flipping upside down. Things are going to keep turning around and going all over the place. And over here, the storms, like right now, like yesterday was pretty nice. There has not, they kept saying it was going to come in more. There hasn't been any more storming. And I lucked out, like however the swirl went for the cyclone thing, that I only got like some snow and stuff ahead and some rain and it was real cold, but then no trees down, thank God. But yeah, it's just a little ways down and there's obviously trees down or something because there's a sign saying the road's closed. And then all the videos I've seen, I bet you there's so many different roads that are closed all the way from here. So even if something happened here, we would have no way to evacuate. We would have to go north. And then over here, they've already got the snow going. Right now, there would be no way to get out of here. Like, I don't know. I would think that there's going to be some places, like if you got on the freeway and went on the interstate, but I bet you'd be running into so many problems the whole way. Like, and if everybody all of a sudden had to evacuate, it would be just a fucking mess. And then but they said Stevens Pass, that was the one that I was always planning on going towards, was Stevens Pass, going the back ways, through the back highways and crossing that one. And they said Stevens Pass is just fucked, that there's trees down everywhere. So, I don't know. Whatever, it's going to just keep going. It's going to keep going. And another thing I had seen was this map, and it was showing about how our population is. So most of the people, it's like, I don't remember the number. Most of the people, though, live on the East Coast, just in the place of, it's like right, so if you look at the doomsday map and you got the Mississippi and then you have the new coastline. So from that part over, from the Mississippi over to the coast, where the coast is now, that's where most of the people live in the United States. And then the next is over on the West Coast, so along my border. So going from Washington State, Oregon, and California, that is where the next biggest amount of the population is. Only like 9% of the population is in the rest of the states. And what I find interesting is that those are the states that is mostly in the doomsday map, except for that one little strip where a lot of people live. But there's going to be a lot of shit going on over there because there's going to keep being these storms. Water's going to be coming in both ways. And there's going to be a lot more earthquakes. I keep seeing things. There's lots of earthquakes and stuff. Over here, it's not like we're going to get away with anything. There's going to be earthquakes, volcanoes, probably everything. So it's going to keep going. But what was interesting, though, was to me is this part where the 9% of people, and that's most of that doomsday map. There's still a part that's cut out over here, but that part, because I kept saying it's like that is going to be, we're going to be going on like where there's new land, where it's not all like how it is where we're living now. So it's going to be going in new land where I bet you that's where a lot of freedom cities. I bet there's going to be a couple over there on the East Coast. But I bet you there's going to be quite a few in this portion. And so the person was explaining, though, on this why there's not that many. And it's something about the weather and the way the mountains go. And so it causes a problem for agriculture and for something else. I don't remember. But the Rocky Mountains go through there. And so, and I don't know if the water on the one part, like you have to look at the map, but it definitely cuts into Colorado, so it may go up into the Rocky Mountains and then so across, because it seems like the mountains are going to be a barrier for the water in some places, that's what's going to hold back the water. And so, so which will kind of make it be like cliffs or something, like in Ireland, like it makes you think like about, well, a bunch of places like Wales, Ireland, and probably Scotland, like these big cliff things. And so it makes you think about all of what's underneath there too. So anyways, but that's where kind of our worlds go underneath. And so we will have kind of those big cliffs, I think, like that. But but in that part is where I bet you he's going to put some freedom cities. And so I would think, and then also if there is a problem with agriculture, there's going to be changes too with the weather. And it may be, but maybe one of the things that's going to be changing with the weather is because there's so much manipulation with it. And once they don't have that ability anymore, once those machines are taken out of their thing, that then the weather will go more calm or something. Because it's supposed to be, the age of Aquarius is supposed to be more tropical. It's supposed to be more like everything is going to be a lot more tropical. It's not going to be like cold and stuff. There may be some places where you would go, at like maybe up in the mountains and stuff or something. I don't know. But there's supposed to be big changes in our weather, big changes in our landscape, big changes in our way that we deal with each other, big changes in the way that we make money, big changes in the way we eat, big changes in the way we're governed. Everything is going to be big changes in the way we travel. And, oh, I saw this girl this morning, and she was talking about that she was abducted when she was a kid. And this was part one, so I didn't see the other parts. But this is one thing that I have always heard is that the people who are abducted are, I haven't always heard that. It used to be a long, long time ago when it was the Inquirer and Star Magazine talking about it. It was like, whoa, people are getting abducted by aliens. But then as it went forward and it got more to the spirituality and the connection, and it was like, oh, they're coming and checking on their people. And so the people who get abducted are usually abducted by their own people, or a lot of them, grays come and get them. So I don't know if grays are kind of like hired out. There's one thing about grays that I've heard is that they are, they're like little robots or something. And that it's like it's over the density here or something. And so they, because all these different beings can't handle the density here. And so these little droid kind of grays are the little like robot things or something. So I don't know. This is just something that I had heard before. But that when they're taking people, abducting them, it's their own family people, it's their own beings, it's people from these places. And so they're having them checked. So they're pulling people, abducting them, and then they're checking their vitals and all this, doing all this stuff because this place is so dense, and for those souls that it can be really hard. And so that they're coming and checking on these different souls to see how they're doing, is what I've heard. And so she was saying in her thing, so she said she started to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden she was paralyzed, and then she was sucked out. But she said it was like all of her cells fell apart. This is how we're going to be traveling around, is what I think, kind of like on Star Trek. And so all of her cells fell apart, and all of a sudden she was at this other place, and she was on this table or something, and they were looking at her and talking to her, and she was panicking. And she said one of them had on sunglasses and a hat and this suit thing, like a Man in Black kind of situation. And she was just panicking and panicking, and the guy was telling her to calm down. You've done this a bunch of times. We do this all the time. And use telepathy to talk. Use your mind to talk. And she said it was taking her a minute because she was so panicky, but then she finally started calming down, and she started using her mind to communicate. And then at some point, the guy removed some stuff and even took out these contact things, and he was a gray. And so she said at some point she did realize that, yeah, okay, I've been here before. They've done this before. I'm not worried. I'm not scared. And it is something about that. It's a good thing. It's not like a bad thing, because there was so many people for so long who thought the abductions were bad, and the tracking devices on them and stuff, because people have pulled those out of themselves and stuff. But it's everything's the opposite. Everything's the opposite of what we think. So really, it's been like your people who've been tracking you and trying to keep an eye on you because they're concerned and care about you. And the people are all like, I'm so scared of them. It's so funny. But that is the upside down world. And that is a world where people are living in ignorance and don't know, because what a difference, you know, if you get abducted at night and then it's like, oh, you guys, that's so exciting. I haven't seen you in a while. Like, let's talk. Let's have some fun. You know, instead, people are just panicked and scared, and which causes more problems, I'm sure, for the whole thing. But everything, there's just so much illusion to this world that isn't real. And then you have these people, you know, these fucking idols or celebrities or whatever, out carting around like this absurdity. Like, I swear to God, I mean, everybody's got, like, I don't know what her intention is. I don't know her motivation or whatever, but it's almost like, you know, carrying your child around as a purse to show what a good person you are, because you've transitioned your child into this other person. And I don't know. I mean, maybe that person's going to live their whole life being happy, I don't know. The whole thing is just so weird. I just feel like there's so much more peace in life when you accept things, when you have gratitude for things, when you look at the bigger picture, when you go deeper into things. Like, this world is so surface. There's so many people that are surface. There's so many people out there that are supposedly leading, and they are surface. And so, anyways, how long have I been talking? What, 122, 123? Man, I was thinking, God, what has it been, 2 hours? Okay, so let me think if there was, because it seemed like there was a couple other things that I had seen. I keep seeing these same things. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen Angelina Jolie and her child come out on this stage, and now it's like a grown man, and then the people are all like, oh, look, he looks kind of like Brad Pitt now, and it's like, fucking hell, this world is shallow, man. And they're just, I don't know, like, I don't know how deep this person is. Like, she doesn't seem to do a lot of talking. She just seems to always have like this blank stare looking out. And I just don't even get it. Like, I don't even get, like, what is the, what are we idolizing on her? Like, because she's pretty? If she looks good in dresses? Like, so she deserves our worship? And whatever she does is no wrong, and I want to be just like her. I want my kid to transition so I can be like her too. It's like, I'm going to be, it's, oh man, it's so manipulative. But but anyways, so it's going to keep playing out though. It's going to keep going. And hopefully they do start looking into this stuff about the cheating and stuff so that they can be convinced themselves, so they can see and look into things. And but there is such a hidden agenda, and people who try and push it, they don't even know what it is they're really carrying. And anyways, but that's going to be the part to me where they're going to find themselves in the mouth of the beast. And I bet you there's going to be a lot of denial. There's going to be a lot of people who keep on saying, no, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. It's going to be like, nope, you're going to find out. And now I don't even know. There keeps being all this argument about RFK Jr. and then them saying, well, he can't have this position because he's not a real doctor. And then it's like, and Donald's like, he's having Dr. Oz be something, Dr. Phil be something. Like, I don't even know if these things are true. If it's just to bring attention onto some certain people and to certain roles or what. But I do think that whatever it's going to be, I do think RFK is going to go in and they're going to take the chemicals and stuff out of the food. They're going to start drawing attention to it. He wants to put a stop to these. That there's a whole bunch of different things that I think that he's really going to do. I don't know what they're all going to keep saying about these different positions. I think that a lot of this arguing and stuff maybe is to draw attention to certain things and certain people, because all these different people are going to be going down. Like on most of the politicians, I heard 98% were going to be going down and being arrested and stuff, which is most of them. So, and then there's ones like even that Matt Gaetz or something. Like if you put an old picture of him and a new one, it doesn't look like the same person either. Like a lot of these people, if you go look at old pictures, it's like there could be a lot of these people or people in masks that are playing a part just to get everything in this, to take us into this new existence. But the tricky part, I guess, is just that it's leaving this one that has been such a lie that people believe it, that they believe that this other world is real. And so it has to be kind of slowly dismantled from them to save their psyche or something. To me, it's just like pull the fucking rug and tell them, like, people need to get their shit together. Especially, like, this is coming from somebody who's been trying to tell people for a long fucking time and has been laughed at and told they're crazy. And mostly that's what it mostly is, people laughing at you and telling you're crazy. And so now it's like, fuck, it's time. Let them fucking see the truth. I've been trying to tell them for a long time. And then also, I was thinking about that thing because Crystal was saying that, you know, she was a firstborn too, and babysitting, because it does fall on the firstborn. And it's like, no, I don't want to babysit anymore. It's like I'm fucking babysitting like 3 years old and I'm being sent to go take care of my 1.5-year-old brother. So it's like, I've been doing this my whole motherfucking life. I don't want to babysit. I don't want to, no, my time is my time. And even, being a mom at a young age, so it was like go from babysitting to being a mom, and then even, you know, doing it again, because I was a mom in the beginning of my 20s, and then I had kids at the end of my 20s. So there was like 2 steps in my mothering, and so it was like, fuck, I've been taking care of other people my whole fucking life. And so then get to the point where you are independent and healing and stuff, and like there's some good things about living here in isolation by myself and stuff. Is like, you know, there's nobody pulling on me and having me do things for them. Well, yeah, there is. Everything is about learning how to have boundaries and stuff, and to know your own limits and what you can do. And hopefully, I'm hoping that she had said, well, I might be able to take him to school with her, to her job. And it's like, yeah, that would be the best thing. is, for them to spend time with their mom and just sit on their devices while I sit in our house freezing to death, being irritated at how loud everything is and telling the dogs to stop it. So it's, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm like, and that would be tomorrow. Oh, God. So we'll see. I'll see what she says today because I can't leave somebody just in desperation. If somebody's really desperate and I'm really, but to me, it's like that is not really a desperation. That is like a schedule thing. And that is a kind of, I don't know, jobs do it on purpose to people to just, it's all, we live in a corporate world that is there to destroy the family, to destroy our self-esteem, to give us no purpose, to just take from us and take from us. And it will keep taking until you say you're not giving anymore. And so there's just a lot of things that have to change. And I know it's scary for people who are just trying to make it, single moms and stuff. Like, I got to go to work. How am I going to pay my bills? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how, like, I don't know. I think that there's going to be so much when the lights come on. I think there's going to be so much epiphanies happening, so much of people going like, oh my God, I could have just done that. Oh my God, I should have just done, why didn't I just do, and people are going to just look at things very differently. So it's not for me to sit there and tell somebody how somebody needs to see things. I think the universe is going to do it, and they're going to do it specifically for you, to make everything so you see exactly what you're supposed to see. Like, I don't need to. I can talk about the things I see, and what I see is I see all these things changing. I see Age of Aquarius happening around us. I see the red, which also, think about the red, represents love. And because that is what, kind of started coming down to, is it red or blue? Like, we actually started going red or blue, red or blue. And blue, think about blue, the blues, sadness, and how, what that energy is that they are, is all this sadness, depressions, everybody's out to get you, and God, Donald's going to kill us all their nonsense. It's very blues. And then the reds taking off on love and unity, where people are like, look, one person, this is a person who was a blue person, and they moved over to the Appalachian. And so they've been living there for 15 years, they said, and they've been blue. And then, it became so much more this divisive on the red and blue, because it used to not be this way. People used to not even talk about it. But so then she said, though, when the shit went down over what's happened over there in the Carolina, over, what we're talking about, that she said it was the red people. She said there was not one motherfucking blue person that came to help her. It was all red people, and red people didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck about anything but helping other people. And she said it really has opened her eyes. And she's really, and I've seen so many different people. And that's the awakening, man. And that's why I say it's happening in all these different places and all these different ways. But it's happening. It's happening all around us. And there's more and more people who are seeing. But how can the blue people are very caught in like, oh, don't say this and don't do that. And you got to love me and got to do this and got to do that. Like, they are, as much as they want the government to be in charge of their vagina, they want to be in charge of all of our perspectives. They want us all to see what they see. And I mean, it's when you listen to them and they are, shaving their heads and stuff and fuck men over, because they don't care about their reproductive rights. It's like, how did you even get there? What was the path that you got there? Somebody's leading you down some crazy fucking paths, because it doesn't fucking make sense. You can blame the men on if you want to go out and sleep around, like, how is it their fault? Like, you are a grown-ass woman, like you should be. If you're out sleeping around and you know how it goes down, it's not their fault that you're finding yourself in the clinic and that's where you're most comfortable, is getting removal. And I mean, I just can't even believe when they're crying over like, well, I have to start taking more control over my birth control. I was like, oh, that's sad. That's the way most people live. So it's like, what in the holy hell? So family planning really just meant to you, go sleep around, and then when there's a problem, just run over here. We'll take care of it for you. It's like, no wonder it does need to close down, because that's absurd. That's fucking ridiculous. So anyways, I'm ranting and ranting. That's a mood I've been in, I'm telling you. I'm in such a fucking rant mood. The dogs have been listening to me lately. I'm just like, you guys are taking advantage of me. God damn it. Just let me sit down here for a minute. I was like, I feel so tense too. It feels like the energy is just about to fucking blow. It feels like we're in a volcano. It's about to blow. So I don't know. I don't want these fucking trees to fall down on me though. These trees are so big. They're so big and heavy. It's like, fuck. Oh my God. I don't even know, because even if it's the water, when you see the ones of the water, they just rip the trees. They just take the trees and go. And the wind is just knocking them full up, just coming straight up out of the ground. All the roots, everything just flying around, falling on people's houses and cars and shit. Like, oh God. I want him to hurry up and find those freedom cities, the safe areas, and then start going towards the safe areas. It's like, I'm ready for some places to not have some storms and shit. Like, this is intense. And this storm now, this bomb cyclone, is there, and I saw Duran again. So LA is just still, he's just out just zooming around on his thing, and no rain or anything. And there was a lot of places, like I know the 5 up in Northern California, that there's a blizzard that was going, and they have all these people stopped and stuff. Like, there's so much hell out there on this traveling and stuff. That's one reason why I like to stay home. I don't even like to go to the fucking store, because there's just bullshit where you go. This is like, the world is falling apart. The world is ending. The time that we had is ending, and it's starting a new time. And it's like this jumping time. And this is like a jumping timelines. It's like, but there's a bridge to cross over. But not, I mean, no matter what, this one is ending. The one that we've been living in, the reality we've been living in, is ending. The landscape is changing. The world is changing. The way that we've lived is changing. Everything is about to change. And we are in the change. We're in the process. Things are changing. And then it's just wacky, like these people, like, oh, I was going to say again about the money thing, because that they think like, oh, well, he's ending Social Security. Well, he's ending Social Security tax, which is different than ending Social Security. And if he does say, I'm going to end Social Security, it would be because he's going to start a different retirement fund than for people who have already dedicated their lives. There's already a whole thing on the BRICS Nation thing for all the people who are older and stuff, that there's a big amount of money. There's big payouts that are going to be going to people. So and it's already going. Like, this isn't something like, well, that's a fantasy. Okay, 178 out of 198 countries have already signed on. You could go look up about what it's all about, the peace treaty and stuff. And now Vladimir is saying, well, we'll have peace if we want to talk to Trump. You get him in here, we'll talk it out. So, I don't know how it's all a show. It's all a show. And the show isn't to just get us to worship Donald like all these other people, like, oh, he's our savior and stuff. And then these people waiting for the fucking rapture, these people waiting for Jesus, waiting for it. He is the light bringer. He is the one that is bringing light to the direction that we're going. He's showing us the way we're going. There's going to be a lot of people, not just him, they're all going, like RFK, like all these different people. And Elon, I mean, Elon was a shaky kind of thing for a long time, like, which side is he on? But I think whatever side he was on, he's now on the side of freedom and going towards where we're headed in technology and stuff. I'm sure he's going to have a big part of the technology and telling us and stuff. So anyways, all these things are happening. It's not, I don't even know why there's any kind of argument. And so whatever's going to happen on the retirement thing, if you're on Social Security or something, don't listen to all these people. And then even when they're saying, like, I keep getting stuff like Medicare and all these things, like these things are ending or whatever. I keep ignoring everything. I just throw it away. I don't open it. There's a couple things that I've opened and just seen, oh, this is bullshit, throw it away. And that's what I've done with all their things. I get messages, texts, emails, ones that are threats, everything. I fucking ignore them, ignore them, ignore them. Don't give them power in your life. But just know in your heart, we are going into something better. And financially, it's going to be better. And if you are on retirement, you don't have to worry. It's not going to just go up 2.5%. It's going to be going up. I heard it's going to be like tripled. Like if you're on $1,500 a month, that it's going to go to like $5,000 a month. So it's going to go to a living reasonable wage, not where people are like fucking, how can somebody live off $1,500 a month and also be able to afford their medicine? I've stood in line before behind some old people at the Walgreens or something and heard some of them $900 for one motherfucking thing. And some of them are having to pay these things. These doctors are getting them hooked on this shit. And then the cost. Like the biggest money isn't in the fucking weight industry and stuff. The biggest money is in the aging industry. And it's some fucking bullshit, man. 100%. And it trips me out how many people I keep seeing that are aging. And it's like, it's fucking not real. And, oh no, this whole thing is so weird. And I can't wait until this fucking slap happy thing happens that turns things and the lights come on. Because I want to see what the fuck, what room am I in? When the lights come on, let's see this. Like, I'm so fucking ready. So anyways, but until then, while we wait, remember what we're here for is to learn how to love yourself, love everyone, even people who transition their children. We love them. We love everybody. So because we love ourselves, we can love everyone. So we're learning how to love ourselves, love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it's totally up to us. You create the day that you have. So I'm going to go create this one. I'm going to work in the shower and I'm going to get more done on this bathroom thing. It's looking so good. So anyways, love yourself, love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later.